Come to your seat in a comfortable position. Sit up tall. Shoulders over hips. Perhaps your feet are cross-legged or straight in front of you. Maybe you're even starting on a chair to warm up. Bring your chin parallel to the floor. Begin to slow your breath. Eyes open or eyes closed. Begin to center yourself by slowing your breath. Ideally making your exhalation as long as your inhalation. Breathing through your nose, bringing your thoughts into this space. Slow, steady breathing. We'll dedicate this class to developing equanimity or balance, often in the midst of life, which can be chaotic. Slow, steady breathing. Bring your hands by your side, palms facing up. Inhale slowly as you lift your hands overhead and pause. Exhale just as slowly as you bring your hands down. Bring your hands to your lap. Close your eyes. Check to see that your breath is slow and steady. Hands by your side once more. 2 more sun breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to your lap. Slowly inhale as you bring your nose up, stretching the back of your neck, pointing your nose towards the ceiling, only as far as feels comfortable. 2 slow breaths here. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your gaze down to your lap, stretching now the muscles in the back of your neck. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take your gaze over your right shoulder. Slow, gentle breaths. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Keeping that chin parallel, keeping your good posture steady. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look up to the right corner of your room where the ceiling meets the wall. Or if you're outside, to some comfortable distance up. Inhale, exhale, look down to the corner right below where you were just gazing. 2 breaths here, then circle your gaze down and up to the opposite side of the room. 2 slow breaths. Then look down below to the floor or the ground. Coming back to center. Inhale, exhale, pull your hands up. Lift one hand as high as you can, letting the shoulder ride up, and then the other. Stretch all the way as you can. Turn your palms down and lower your arms, bringing your arms to your lap. Remembering that yoga is the union of mind, body, and breath. 2 slow breaths here. Inhale, lift your hands up, cross your fingers, push your palms out and up. Big inhale. On an exhale, twist towards your right, let your arms come down. Inhale, feel your spine grow perhaps 1/8 of an inch. Exhale, relax into the twist. Never pushing in yoga, just practicing. Gentle stretch is all you should feel, never pain. Come out of the pose if there's discomfort. Inhale back to center. Reform the braiding of your fingers, perhaps in a way that feels awkward. Inhale, on an exhale, lift your hands. And your next exhale, twist in the opposite direction, let your hands come down. Again, imagine your spine growing as you inhale, relaxing into the twist as you exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take your arms forward and your gaze down, pushing your back gently backwards into a cat pose. 2 slow breaths here. Take a big inhale, exhale into cow, bringing your arms back, coming forward with a straight back, maybe looking up, helping your back to curve gently backwards in the opposite direction. And breathe. Inhale, and on an exhale, come to cat. Inhale, on an exhale, come to cow. And now moving with your own breath between cat and cow, either with each inhalation or each exhalation, moving in either direction. Slow and steady with your breath. Only going as far as feels good in your body. And coming back to a seated posture. Take your right hand to the floor, curve the left side of your spine, keeping your back straight. Slow, steady breaths. Inhale, and on an exhale, reversing. Come back to a seated posture. Open and close your fingers. Move your wrists in both directions. Extend your arms. Reach from fingertip to fingertip. Maybe a gentle sway with a straight back. Palms up, palms down. Sit up tall. Inhale, on an exhale, give yourself a hug. Breathe. Inhale, on an exhale, open and reverse your arms. Open again, lift your hands, reach again, palms facing down, lower your hands. Open your feet, spreading them until you feel a stretch in your groin muscles. Not too far, it's early in our practice, we're still warming up. Sit up tall, engage the muscles of your core. Perhaps you've added a stretch by pointing your toes upward, stretching the bottom side of your legs. Inhale, and on an exhale, walk your hands forward with a straight back, maybe a slight upturning of your gaze. Slow, steady breaths. Maybe relaxing into a deeper forward fold. And maybe not. Maybe you're sitting up and just coming a little bit forward. Listening to your body with kindness. Sit up tall, turn towards one leg. Keep that toe flexed, that foot flexed if you can. Come forward just a little bit. If the opposite hip comes off the mat, that's okay. And breathe. Walk your hands back up, turn towards the other foot. Again, gently come forward. Come back to seated, take your hands behind, opening your chest, maybe looking up, a nice stretch of your shoulders and the front of your body. Come back to seated, take the soles of your feet together. See if you can sit up tall despite this awkward posture. Inhale, exhale, come forward with a straight back. Again, it could be an inch or a half an inch. Some of you may come further, but listening to your body, and it's more important to keep your back straight and not go as far than to curve right after a straight back. Sit up tall, bring your knees together, roll over your knees, and come into tabletop pose. In tabletop, your shoulders are over your wrists, your fingers are wide like a starfish. Push into your fingers and the back of your palm. Hips are over knees. Engage the muscles of your belly. Pull them in. Toes are pointing directly backward, and your knees are a comfortable distance apart. Inhale, look up, let your belly come down a little. This is cow on the mat. Inhale, as you exhale, lower your gaze, push your back up gently, just a little, into cat. If this feels good in your body, moving dynamically, perhaps inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. Moving with your own breath, let's do 3 or 4 more of each pose. Breathing as you go, following your own breath. Come back to tabletop pose. Check your posture. Lift one arm forward as if you're going to shake someone's hand. Looking down at the mat, bring your opposite foot to the back of the mat. Keep it there, or perhaps lift it into sunbird. Looking down, slow, steady breath. Stay here, or maybe inhale and on an exhale, bring your elbow towards your knee and moving with your breath. Inhaling to a flexed posture, exhaling to an extended posture, or the other way around, but only moving as you either begin to inhale or exhale. Moving slowly and with your breath. Bring your hand down and your arm down. Check that you're still in a good posture, and let's do the other side. You can keep that foot on the mat and not move or lift it. You can stay here, or perhaps inhale and on an exhale, elbow to knee, moving with your breath. Slow, steady breaths through your nose. Coming out of the posture if it's too much. One more. Hand down, knee down. Check your posture, or your shoulders over your wrist. Pull your belly in. Inhale, and on an exhale, curve your spine and look to your foot on that side. Feeling a gentle stretch on the opposite side of your spine. Inhale back to center. Exhale, a gentle twist in the other direction. Slow, steady breaths. Inhale, and on an exhale, separate your knees, lower your forehead to the mat, and come to child's pose. Slow, steady breathing. Gently make your way to downward facing dog. Push one heel and then the other heel into the mat. Slow, steady breathing. Come to stillness. 2 slow breaths here. Bend your knees, slowly and gently walk your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift till your back is parallel with the floor. Exhale, fold gently, only going as far as you can with a straight back. Maybe a slight cobra in your neck. Bring your hands to the front of your legs. And as you inhale, slowly rise with a straight back. Hands overhead. Hands to heart center, mountain pose. Let's build the pose from the feet up. Push into the mat with the ball of your feet and the back of your heel. Lift your toes, put them down. You're not pushing into the mat with your toes. You're using the four corners of your foot to build a stable posture. Knees over ankles, hips over knees. Maybe activate the muscles of your legs by isometrically contracting them. Engage the muscles of your belly and your core so that they're stiff and active. Shoulders over hips, gently pull them down. Spine is straight but not rigid. Arms can be straight, hands forward or towards your side. See which feels better in your body. Chin parallel to the floor. Is your face relaxed? Is your jaw relaxed? Stare straight ahead at something not moving, a drishti point, focal point. Or perhaps experiment with closing your eyes. This is the pose of equanimity or balance. Staying here on or off the mat and breathing slowly is to practice yoga, to recenter yourself anytime during our practice or during your day. Like a building that sways, we can sway a little in this pose. It helps to keep us balanced and centered. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, fold with a straight back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat, and make your way to plank. And plank, your elbows are over your wrists. Knees can be down or up. You're looking down. With a straight back, take a big inhale. Exhale as you bend your elbows, keeping them close to your body, bringing your head down to the mat. Inhale, pushing into the mat with your hands, coming to a cobra pose. Slow, steady breaths here. Inhale, exhale down to the mat and make your way either through tabletop or through even an upward facing dog, rolling over your toes, however you need to get to downward facing dog. Slow, steady breaths here. Remember, you're pushing into the mat with your fingers in the back of your palm. The center of your palm is lifted. Push one heel towards the mat and then the other. Keeping your elbows and knees straight is the ideal pose, but if this hurts, then do what is comfortable in your body. Slow, steady breaths here. Bend your knees, walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, and on an exhale, fold, ideally with a straight back. Inhale, slowly lift with a straight back, hands overhead, hands to heart center. Mountain pose, 2 breaths, centering yourself. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, fold with a straight back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. We'll meet in downward facing dog, either going there directly through tabletop or perhaps through plank and downward facing and upward facing dog and then into downward facing dog. 3 slow breaths here. Inhale, lift one leg to the sky into 3-legged dog. Stay here. Or maybe bend that knee, stack your hips, but push with equal force into both hands. The twist is in your lower body. Slow, steady breaths here. Through your nose, ideally. Look down, come back to 3-legged dog and lower that leg. Inhale, and on your exhale, lift your other leg. Stay here, or perhaps bend the knee, stack your hips. Maybe look under that armpit. Slow, steady breaths here. Back to 3-legged dog, both feet to the mat. Bend your knees, walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale and slowly rise. Hands overhead, hands to heart center. Mountain pose. 2 slow breaths. Inhale, hands to heart center, and come to chair pose by bending your knees, keeping them level. Engage the muscles of your belly. Start with your hands at heart center. This is a strong exercise for the muscles on top of your thighs that we need to stand and walk. Hands can come forward or up, or all the way up, depending upon what you need. Listening to your body. From the side, it looks like this. You're not sticking your bottom out, you're pulling it in. Lifting as high as is comfortable. Hands to heart center and stand. Hands overhead. Take a big inhale, exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat and make your way to downward facing dog, either going directly or perhaps through plank. 2 slow breaths here. Inhale and take one leg forward. Make sure that knee is over ankle. Separate your feet so that your hips are facing the short end of your mat and slowly rise. These are warrior 1 legs. Pull your belly in, lift your torso. Maybe take your hands up into warrior 1. 2 slow breaths here. Inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale, exhale the other leg up and bring it forward. Setting up for warrior 1 over your opposite knee. Knee over ankle. Make sure you can see your big toe. Your knee and your toes always pointing in the same direction. Warrior 1. 3 slow breaths. If your arms are tired, keep them at your heart center. Inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, hands to the mat. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Slow breaths here. Bend your knees, walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees and come to your chair pose. 3 slow breaths. Inhale, hands to heart center. Take one arm forward and the other back. Maybe look over that back hand. Keep your knees level. Twisted chair pose. And breathe. Inhale, hands to heart center and reverse. Inhale, hands to heart center and stand, mountain pose. Close your eyes, feel the power of this pose. Slow, steady breaths. Inhale, hands to heart center and to your waist. Separate your feet hip distance apart. Engage your core muscles. Pull your shoulders back. Inhale, on an exhale, bend your knees. Fold with a straight back. Perhaps taking a bind of your big toes with your peace fingers and your thumb. Maybe straightening your legs, your knees a lot or little. Only going as far as you can with a straight back. Inhale and relax into the pose, keeping your back straight. A strong stretch for the muscles on the back of your legs.
slow, steady breathing. Inhale, halfway lift. Return to that pose. You can also move your hands up to your legs, or if you can, take gorilla pose by taking your toes to your wrists, keeping your back straight, relaxing into the pose. This can be done with your hands on your legs, but keep your back straight, going only as far down as you can with a straight back, listening to your own body. If your elbows are out, maybe engage the muscles of your arms, making it an active forward fold. Release the bind if you're in it, and slowly rise, hands to heart center, and open along the long side of your mat. Toes pointing forward. Turn your right foot to face the right end of your mat. Lift your arms, and bending from your waist, come to triangle pose. Keep that back straight. Go only as far as you can with a straight back. It's not how deep you go, it's how beautiful you can make the pose. Lift your gaze, opening your heart. Pull your belly in. If this is uncomfortable, come up, don't do the pose, or modify it to keep you comfortable. 3 slow breaths through your nose. Experiment with looking straight ahead, up or down. See which is better for your body and more comfortable. Inhale and pull to stand, hands to heart center, feet face the long end of the mat. Turn your opposite foot to face the short end of the mat. Arms up, inhale, exhale, come to triangle over the other leg. Slow, steady breaths. Pull your belly in, straight back. Maybe look up a little to open your heart. Slow, steady breaths. Inhale, pull to stand, hands to heart center, feet face the long end of the mat. Turn both feet to face the short end of your mat. Pull your belly in, separate your feet so that your hips are parallel with the short end of your mat. Engage your core. Lift your right hand, that's the same side as the foot that's leading. Take your left hand out, palms facing up. Look towards the short end of your mat. Engage your core muscles, your abdomen. And on your exhale, bend from the waist. Bring that left hand to the mat and maybe twist. Bringing the hand on the side of the leading foot out directly from your shoulder. Slow, steady breaths. Both hands to the mat, bend that knee and gently rise. Hands to heart center and reverse. Separate your feet, hips facing the short end of the mat. And breathe. Lift your right hand to the sky, left hand comes out. Inhale, and as you exhale, fold from the waist. Bring that hand to the mat and slowly twist. Bend that leading knee and slowly rise. Toes face the long end of the mat, mountain pose. I cued the first leg incorrectly, but you get the idea for the twist. Inhale, hands to heart center and open, toes pointing the long end of the mat. Turn your
Right foot to face the right short side. Right knee over right ankle. Bring your right arm to your thigh. Back is straight. Perhaps start with your left hand on your waist. If that feels okay, maybe lift it up. Maybe take it in a row. Perhaps your gaze is straight ahead or up. Do what's comfortable. Keep that knee over ankle. Push into the outer edge of your back leg. Wide angle pose. Experiment perhaps with letting that right hand come down. Maybe that will allow you to come lower, but only if you can keep your back straight. Otherwise, stay higher. Gently pull to stand, hands to heart center, straighten that knee. Toes face the long end. Turn your left foot to face the short end of the mat. Left knee over left ankle. Left forearm to left thigh. Wide angle pose, your version. Keep that knee over the ankle and breathe. Keep your back straight. Maybe looking up. Maybe looking straight ahead. Slowly pull to stand. Toes face the long end of the mat. Turn both feet to face the first side. Bend that knee. You're now in warrior one legs. Hands to heart center. Stay here, or perhaps take your opposite elbow to the outer edge of that bent knee and twist. Keep that knee over ankle. Inhale back to center, feet face the long end of the mat, and reverse. Separate your feet so that your hips are parallel to the short end of the mat. Engage the muscles of your core and your abdomen so that you're standing straight. Hands at heart center, stay here, or perhaps twist. Inhale and slowly come out of the pose. Feet together, mountain pose, 2 breaths. Inhale, hands to heart center. Open your feet wide. Turn your toes out just a little. Lift your arms into 5-pointed star. Open your chest by looking up. This can also be called joy. Take this pose when you're feeling a little blue. It's hard to be blue in this pose. Look up. And breathe. Bend your elbows. Bring your knees over your ankles. Lifting your torso till it's straight. Goddess squat. Slow, steady breaths. Maybe lifting one heel. Maybe the other heel. Maybe both heels. And maybe neither heel. Slow, steady breath. Come back to joy. Look up. Pull your belly in. Open your chest. Inhale, hands to heart center into your hips. Make sure your knees and your toes are facing in the same direction. Adjust your feet if they're not. Pull in your abdomen. Lower your shoulders. Inhale, and on an exhale, come forward with a straight back, looking down. Take your hands first to your legs. Stay here. Or perhaps bring your hands to the mat. If your back is still straight, you can come lower. If you separate your feet,
your fold will be deeper, but it's not necessary. If your back is curving, stay higher. With each inhale, grow your spine. With each exhale, relax into the forward fold. Slowly come out of the pose with a straight back. Heel toe your feet together if you've moved them apart. And slowly come back to the pose. Hands to waist. Inhale, hands out. Exhale, perhaps taking a bind behind you. You can use a strap or hold on to your elbows. Inhale on an exhale, come forward with a straight back. Going only as far as you can. Keep your back straight. Keep your gaze steady, straight ahead. Maybe lift your arms if they're in a bind, and maybe not if your shoulders don't like this. Slow, steady breaths. Lower your arms if they're lifted and slowly rise. Hands on your hips. Mountain pose, 2 breaths. Inhale, hands to heart center, and open your feet. Turn both feet to face one end of your mat, preparing for pyramid pose. Engage the muscles of your abdomen. Hands can be at heart center. In reverse namaste, or on your hips. Inhale, and as you exhale, either keep your hand in your posture, or perhaps take your hands to your leg. Keep that back straight, going only as low as you can with a straight back. If you can, perhaps reaching the mat, keep that front knee soft. Inhale, feel your spine grow. Exhale. Relax into the forward fold, but keep your back straight, using your hands to support the pose. Bring your hands back to your legs if you're using them to help you stand. Feet face the long end of the mat and reverse. Hips parallel to the other short end of the mat. Hands wherever you need on this side. Lift your torso, lift your gaze. Inhale, and on an exhale with a straight back, come forward. Stopping wherever you feel your back curving. Perhaps taking your hands to your legs, staying here. Or going lower if that feels okay in your body. Listening to your body. Slow, steady breaths. Soften that front knee and slowly come out of the pose, mountain pose. Shake everything out. We're going to do some balancing poses, and it's perfectly okay to use a wall or a tree or a chair to get into the pose. Pick a drishti point, a focal point, something that's not moving. You might pick the tree behind me or one outside. I'm picking a tree that I can see as I look at the computer. Bring one foot to stillness, straighten that knee, but keep it soft. Pick your version of tree, anywhere that foot can go except on the knee. Hold on, perhaps come into the full pose. Hands can be out for better balance. Slow, steady breath. Your foot can also be on the mat if that's better. Perhaps turn your knee forward. Perhaps lift the leg and come out of the pose. And shake that leg out.
Come to the other side. Your version. Maybe your foot is on the mat. Maybe mine will wind up there. Slow, steady breaths, staring at something that's not moving. Slow, steady breaths to help your balance. If you fall out of the pose, come back. Turn your knee forward, maybe lift it, and come out of the pose and shake that out. Hold on to the chair or the wall or not. Bring your knee forward, open it, bring it forward. You might experiment with holding on to the toe and bringing it out. Maybe letting go of your support. Maybe bring your bent knee or straight knee forward and come out of the posture. Come to the other side. Experiment with bent knee, moving with your breath, holding on or not. Maybe extending the toe, maybe opening, maybe holding. Maybe coming forward. Just play with the balancing pose and shake it out. One more balancing pose, flute player. Stand up tall, soft knees. Take one foot across the other. If your balance is great, lift it. Open your hands. Take your thumb across your middle fingers. Your hands are at mouth level. Take one hand across, look at the other side, and play your flute. Maybe lifting that leg, maybe keeping it down. Open your hands, open your feet, and reverse. Take your flute to the other side. Maybe lifting the leg on the side, and maybe not. Slow, steady breaths. Slowly come out of the pose. Shake your feet. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And make your way to a seated posture. Come to seated mountain pose. Push into the mat with your sits bones. Knees are straight, and ideally they're straight, but if they hurt, you can bend them a little. Try to keep your toes pointing up for the strongest stretch. Inhale, hands overhead. Maybe look up. Exhale as you come forward with a straight back. Use a strap to help keep your back straight. Maybe look up a little. Inhale, imagine your spine getting longer. Exhale, relax into the pose until you feel a stretch, then you're there. Look down, keep your back straight wherever you are. Relax into the forward fold. But keep your back straight. Slowly come out of the pose by sitting up with a straight back. Keep one leg straight, bend the opposite. Keep that foot anywhere except on the knee. Don't force it. See what's comfortable. Let gravity pull on the knee. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, come forward with a straight back. Maybe use the strap at this point. Inhale, lift your gaze, straight back. Exhale, relax into the pose, but keep that back straight. This is not about curving.
Slow, steady breaths. We deepen our posture by practicing, never forcing. Release the strap if you're using it or bind. Slowly sit up and reverse. Inhale, hands overhead. Keep that front foot flexed, toes pointing up if you can. On your exhale, come forward only as far as you can with a straight back. A slight cobra in your neck may help you to keep that back straight. And then relax into the pose with each exhalation, keeping your back straight. And breathe. Slowly come out of the pose, coming through seated mountain pose. Make it an active pose. Push into the mat with your hands. Toes pointing up, knees straight but not stiff. Maybe activate the muscles of your arms and legs to make it an active pose. Slow breathing completes the posture. Take your hands by your side and either rise into reverse table, or if your arms are very strong, make sure your shoulders are over your wrists and come to reverse plank. Whichever feels best for you. I'm going to do reverse tabletop. Slow, steady breaths. And if this doesn't work for you, come back to whatever seated posture is good for you. Slow, steady breathing. Come out of the pose. Bring your knees together and set up for boat pose. I'm turning to the side so you can see how I'm sitting with a straight back. Start with your hands under your knees. Lean back a little. Lift your legs. If this hurts your lower back, come out of the pose. Your core is not strong enough for it yet. If this feels okay, experiment with perhaps straightening one leg, maybe straightening both, or keeping them bent and letting go. Using your core muscles and your leg muscles, not your back. Slow, steady breaths. Listening to your body. Slowly come out of the pose, come to a seated child's pose. Stay in seated child's pose, or perhaps repeating some version of this pose that speaks to you. Maybe less, maybe more than you did the first time. Bring your feet to the mat and open your legs. Maybe they come a little further than they did in the beginning of the class. Inhale, and as you exhale, walk your hands forward with a straight back. Go only as far as you can with a straight back. Inhale, exhale, relax into this forward fold. Keep your gaze down, or maybe slightly up to help keep your back straight. Gently walk your hands to one leg, maybe using a strap. Inhale, and as you exhale, come forward a lot or a little, but keep your back straight. Maybe take the arm on the side that you're bending and opening into a twist. If your hip comes off the ground, it's okay. Don't push it down. Take your hands down and slowly walk towards the other side. Halfway lift, and then relax into the forward fold, maybe using a strap, and then maybe opening up into this twist.
lower your hands and slowly rise. Soles together, arms behind, gently looking up, stretching the front of your body, contracting your back muscles gently. Sit up. If pigeon is in your practice, bring one leg forward and get into that posture. If it's not, come with me to a zigzag. Start with one knee forward, knee bent. If your knees don't mind, you can keep it parallel to the front of the mat. Mine doesn't like that, so it's bent. No pain in this pose. If you're in pigeon, your back leg is straight, but mine is in a zigzag, so my knee is bent and it's behind me. Maybe look forward. Maybe sit up, if this is okay with your hips. Maybe come forward. Slow, steady breaths. Slowly come to the other side, either just swinging your legs around, or perhaps a full vinyasa if you're still very peppy, especially if you're in pigeon. Your version on this side. You can also be on your back in a number 4 stretch. Accomplishes the same thing. Slowly come out of the pose. If you're already on your back, stay there. If you're coming with me, sit up tall. Bring your hands forward and slowly lowering yourself to your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Lift them straight up into legs up the wall. Separate them. Bring your feet to the mat, soles, knees together, toes pointing forward. Preparing for bridge pose. Push into the mat either with your hands or the back of your hands. In bridge, you're supporting your weight with your shoulders and your feet, not your head. Inhale, as you exhale, lift your torso. Maybe if your shoulders like it, taking them underneath. Keep your knees together. Slow, steady breath here. If you need more, maybe lifting one leg and holding, and then the other, or staying in bridge, or even putting a block into your hip if you've had enough and you need a restorative pose. Lower your hands, lower your hips, hug your knees into your chest. Slow, steady breaths. Inhale your feet straight up. Bend your knees and come into happy baby pose. Push the small of your back towards the mat. Roll from side to side and prepare for Shavasana. Bring your heels to either edge of the mat. Let your feet fall open, palms up. Check to see that you're symmetrically pushing into the mat with your body. Chin perpendicular to the mat, face relaxed. Maybe your eyes are closed, teeth not clenched. Release control of your breath, but continue to be mindful of it. And if this pose doesn't work for you, take another pose that does. It could even be a seated posture, if you can hold it comfortably, listening to your body. And for the next 3 minutes, just be completely present in your body. If your mind wanders, bring it back perhaps to your breath. You can even say, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Slow, steady breaths. We'll come out of the pose together for one final meditation. to stretch your fingers and toes. Maybe take a total body stretch. Slowly make your way to one side, perhaps drawing your knees into your chest and using your hands to push to a seated posture. Hands to heart center. Keep your eyes closed. The most central part of yoga philosophy is non-harming, loving kindness towards self and towards others. So with this in mind, may each of us be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May each of us find joy, small or large, each day, even in the midst of chaos. May we be strong, but not rigid. May we act always with kindness and wisdom, forgiving ourselves when we slip and trying to repair. And may all of this result in each of us bringing peace into the world and a life lived in balance with equanimity. Thank you for sharing this practice with me, and let us say Namaste.